What up, everybody? InstructaBeats back again. This is our last video for our Dividing Decimals playlist, and today we are focused on a 6th grade standard of writing remainders as decimals. Let's dive right in. Today I will be able to write the remainder as a decimal. So our steps for success. Number 1, we're going to divide like normal. Number 2, if there is a remainder, okay, we are going to, if there isn't a decimal already, we're going to add a decimal and a 0 to the dividend. We're going to raise our decimal to the roof, just like we've been following the same steps, right? If it's in the dividend, you raise it to the roof. And then we're going to keep on keeping on. And so we talked about that the very first video. This is really where that comes in. You're going to keep on keeping on until you don't have any remainder left. So these steps might be a little bit confusing right now, but go ahead and write them down. Pause the video, write them down. And then when we get into the problems, we'll talk about each step in our I do problem. We have 735, right, divided by 2. And so you're going to divide this just like normal, right? And so we have 3 groups of 2 go into that. When I multiply that 6, I have 1. I'm going to bring down 13. 6 groups of 2 go into 13. When I multiply that, that's 12. I subtract, that's 1. I'm going to bring down my 5, right? How many groups of 2 go into 15? That would obviously be 7. And I'm going to multiply and get a remainder 1. So in 5th grade, you would have stopped right here and you would have written your answer as 367 remainder 1. And then if it was a word problem, you could have ignored it. Check out our remainder word problem song. You could have rounded up. It could have been your remainder. Okay, these are all 4th grade level things. And then you were like, in 5th grade, you learned how to write it as a mixed number, so 367 and 1/2. Now, this one would be an easier one to just take from our mixed number and write as a decimal, because I know that 1/2 is equal to 5/10 or 50 hundredths. And so if I wanted to write this as a decimal, I could use my fraction and decimal knowledge to go ahead and write it 367 and 5/10. If I don't know that, though, okay, or if I have something that's not an easy fraction like this, the step was, if there's a remainder, you need to add a decimal and a 0 to the dividend. So when you're dividing decimals, you shouldn't have a remainder. You're going to keep going until you don't have one. So I'm going to add a decimal and a 0 to my dividend, right? And then I'm going to raise it to the roof. So this is where my decimal is going to be. And then I'm just going to keep on keeping on. I'm going to keep dividing like normal. So I just subtracted. My next step would be to bring down my 0. And now I'm thinking to myself, how many groups of 2 go into 10? Obviously, let me just keep drawing this out. That would be 5. When I multiply that, that is 10. Okay, I subtract. I get 0. I have no remainder left. And my, sorry, that's the wrong one. And my decimal answer would be 367 and 5/10, which is what we talked about down here. But sometimes you don't have this easy fraction and you actually have to keep dividing it out. But this is how you do it. You add it, if you have a remainder and you want to keep finding the decimal, you add a decimal and a 0, raise it to the roof just like you normally would, and then just you bring down this digit and you keep on keeping on. If you had a remainder, you just add another 0 and keep going until you didn't have a remainder anymore. Let's check out another one. So we have 338, okay, divided by 16, all right? And go ahead and pause the video. This is a 2-digit divisor, so you want to make your easy multiple sheet for this one. But go ahead and pause the video, try it out. See if you get confused, or if you're not sure, if you know and you want to check your answer, push play, and I'll go ahead and solve it with you. But try it out right now. So hopefully just push play. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make my easy multiple sheet. And I'm going to fast forward this right now so you don't have to watch the whole thing, because by now you should know how to do this. Ooh, that was hard doing that fast. And now I'm going to divide like I normally would, right? So how many groups? Multiply, subtract, bring down. Obviously this would be a 0. I'm going to subtract and get a 3. I'm going to bring down my next digit. I have a 3. I can fit 2 groups of 16. When I multiplied that, that was 32. I subtract. I get an 18. I bring down the 8. How many groups of 16 go into 18? Obviously 1. I'm going to subtract and get 2, okay? And just like we said in 4th grade and 5th grade, right, you would have just written your answer as 21, remainder 2. right? And then if it was a word problem, you could have had 21, you could have had 22, you could have had remainder 2, or in 5th grade, you learn how to write as a mixed number, so you would have 21 and 2/16, right? Which actually could simplify to 21 and 1/8. Now that one is not an easy one just to turn into a decimal in our head. So we're going to follow our steps. If there's a remainder, we're going to add a decimal and a 0. I'm going to keep going on right here. Okay. I'm going to raise it to the roof because if there's a end of the dividend, you raise it to the roof. And then I'm going to keep on keeping on. That means I just keep dividing like normal until I don't have any remainder left. So I bring that down and I just start back over with my steps. How many groups of 16 go into 20? That is a 1. When I multiply that, that is 16. I'm going to get a 4. I still have a remainder, so I'm going to add a 0 and just keep bringing it down until I don't. Okay, how many groups of 16 go into 40? That'd be 2. When I multiply that, that was 32. I'm going to subtract. I need to come down a little bit here. I'm going to get an 8. Okay, well, guess what? I have a remainder. I got to add a 0 and keep on keeping on. So I'm going to bring that 0 down. How many groups of 16 go into 80? That's going to be a 5. When I multiply that, whew, thank heavens, I'm done. 80 minus 80 right here is 0. So I don't have a remainder, which means I'm all done. And so my answer is 21. Ooh, let me go all the way back up. 21 and 125 thousandths. So 2/16 is equivalent to, in decimal form, right, because fractions and decimals are the same thing, 125 thousandths. So now, in 4th grade, you learn how to write these. 5th grade, you learn how to write the mixed number. Now you're learning some 6th grade math of how to write the remainder as a decimal. So to review our steps, divide like normal. If there's a remainder, you're going to add the decimal and add a 0. You're going to raise the decimal to the roof, and then you're just going to keep on keeping on. You're going to keep adding zeros and bringing them down until you don't have a remainder anymore. Hopefully this has been helpful to you. Please check out our other decimal playlist at YouTube at InstructaBeats Official. You can follow us at Instagram at InstructaBeats. Thank you so much. As always, please subscribe. InstructaBeats out.